Okay, so a stretch or compression given a table. So they give us a table, we've seen this table before, and then they want us to create a table for g of x. Now I'm going to try to write this out and explain it. I know it's all a little tricky, so see if one more explanation helps. Okay, so I'm going to have an input and I'm going to have g of x. Now when you're given a table, you don't get to make up the information, okay? You can say what the input's going to be, but the output is determined here from the table. This relationship, f of x, that's set, okay? Now, we know that this is following the pattern for either a stretch or compression. Think about it for a minute. What are you thinking? Okay, this should be a stretch because it's b, b is less, so the 1/2 is between 1 and 0. Okay, so it should be a stretch according to what our rules on horizontal stretches and compressions say, okay? What does that mean then? Well, think about plugging it in and trying to figure out this function. Our outputs are going to stay the same. Those are what we know. So we know we want an output of 1. But what number do I have to put in so that I would say f of 2? See, I need to have an x here so that I'm going to have f of 2, and that will match to an output of 1. Sorry about that. So I need to put in a 4. Then I can say g of x, using this right here, the formula that we have, g of x is equal to f of 1/2 times 4, which is going to be f of 2, and that I can look up on my table. F of 2, I know, I have the f of x function as a table. I know what f of 2 is. So you could say, well, I wanted to put in, 1. You can put in 1. What's g of 1? Well, you can't really, but I'll show you what happens. You'd say f of 1/2. But do we know from our table over here what f of 1/2 is? No, we don't know. So that's why you can say, oh, let x be 1. It doesn't get us anywhere because we can't look it up on the table. Okay, so maybe that helps to make a little more sense. So now we're going to want an output of 3. So what does the input have to be? Well, we have to put in 8, because then we would have g of 8, which would be f of 1/2 times 8, which would be f of 4. And we know what f of 4 is. F of 4 is on the table, right there. F of 4 is 3. Okay? All right, so what's happening is we are doubling the inputs to be able to make this g of x function work according to the table. So we're going to double the 6, that'll make it 12. And we're going to double the 18, which will make it 16. The outputs are staying the same because when you put in a 12 up here, that's going to be f of 6, which has an output of 7. When you put in the 16, you're going to get f of 8, which that output is 11. Okay, so lots of arrows and me drawing, but this is the answer. This is the table. We had to double the inputs to get those outputs. And we don't get to make up our own outputs. We have to take those off the table. All right, hopefully that helps.